So now let's move and talk about the evolution of burnout, how stress can become dangerous and lead to this. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow progression that moves through distinct stages, and it's often unnoticed until we reach a breaking point. The deeper burnout goes, the more it affects not only our physical health, but also our mental and emotional well-being. In this lesson, we're going to explore the 5 stages of burnout, how emotional exhaustion and mental fatigue contribute to severe distress, and why addressing burnout early is critical for suicide prevention. There are 5 stages in burnout in this model that we'll talk about. The first stage is called the honeymoon phase. In the beginning, stress often feels motivating rather than overwhelming. During the honeymoon phase, you may feel like you have high job satisfaction. You may be optimistic and productive and full of creativity and passion. However, if stress continues and you don't make time for proper recovery and proper rest, cracks will begin to form and you'll begin to progress into stage 2. This is the onset of stress, and this is where anxiety may begin to appear. As the demands increase and the stress grows, you may notice early signs of imbalance in this phase. These may present as appetite changes, sleep disturbances. You may begin avoiding people and places and activities that used to bring you pleasure, or just starting to kind of withdraw from life. During this stage, stress management techniques and resiliency practices can be very effective in restoring balance, bringing you back into stage 1 and preventing you from moving forward into stage 3. Stage 3 is the stage of chronic stress, and this is where exhaustion sets in. Here, stress becomes a constant companion and may lead to different signs and symptoms, including persistent fatigue and apathy. You may also notice increased reliance on substances such as caffeine for energy, sugar for motivation, alcohol to relax at the end of the day, Benadryl for sleep or other sleeping aids, etc. Also in this stage, people may begin to grow very cynical and become detached from things that they used to love or appreciate. They begin to look at things through a negative lens. During this phase, mental and emotional exhaustion start to take hold and ultimately can affect relationships and your performance at work. Stage 4 is the initial stage of burnout and where we see emotional and physical collapse. Here, the body and the mind begin to shut down, and this results in physical symptoms. They may present as chronic headaches, digestive issues like diarrhea, indigestion, constipation, muscle tension, especially in the shoulders and traps and neck area. People in this stage may also increasingly isolate themselves socially and avoid people, places, and things they used to love. You may also notice drastic behavioral changes, including quick to react anger or perhaps numbness and severe withdrawal. Without intervention in this stage, many people tend to keep putting their mask on and go, just shoving these feelings down further. And if we don't address it here, this burnout can lead to more severe mental health consequences. Stage 5 is the stage of habitual burnout. This is where depression and suicidal risk really come into play. In this stage, burnout has become a way of life and has led to chronic sadness and hopelessness, severe mental and physical fatigue, depression, emotional numbness, and possibly even suicidal thoughts. At this stage, individuals often feel completely disconnected from their purpose, and they struggle to see a way forward. Many people in this stage feel like they no longer want to be here. They may not have a plan to take their life. However, they may not feel bad if they didn't wake up the next morning. Emotional exhaustion and mental fatigue are the silent killers. So many people assume that burnout is just about being tired, but it's far more dangerous. Studies have shown that emotional exhaustion and mental fatigue are powerful drivers of suicidal ideation because they deplete the brain's ability to cope with stress. They also bring increased feelings of helplessness and worthlessness and can create a sense of emotional numbness or deep despair. Without proper intervention, prolonged burnout can lead to life-threatening outcomes. This is why early recognition and action are so critical. The good news is we can break the cycle. There is hope and healing. Burnout is actually reversible. And the first steps include recognizing the warning signs before they reach a crisis level, prioritizing recovery and self-care as a necessity, not as a luxury, reaching out for help, whether through a support system, by professional guidance, or workplace advocacy. If you're feeling any of these signs and symptoms, I want you to know that you are not alone. I was there myself and am a living example of the ability to step out of the shadows and back into the light. Healing from burnout is possible. And together we're going to explore the path that I personally walked to renew my energy, build my resilience, and feel better. I'm going to invite you now just to take a moment and reflect. Have you noticed yourself moving through any of these stages? How has stress in your life impacted your emotional and mental well-being? And then think about one small action you can take today to begin prioritizing rest and recovery from stress. And finally, if you've identified with any of the feelings in the last 3 stages of burnout, such as apathy, depression, feelings of hopelessness, or any feelings at all of wanting to end your life or not be here, I encourage you to reach out for support. Talk to a loved one, a member of your clergy, seek professional guidance through a licensed mental health counselor, or reach out to your workplace well-being organization. There is no shame in asking for help. Mental health is just as important as our physical health, and sometimes our minds need a hand for healing just like our body does.